Right then, good morning. Back off my holidays for a week and a bank holiday Monday. I know there's plenty to see because despite being away I couldn't help it and had to get Adam to send me a photo of how we were getting on. So I'm going up now. I know that the ceilings have been boarded and the first fix plumbing's been done, so I'm going to have a look at that and looking forward to it. Yes, already see it looking good, and the plasterer's here today, which is quite monumentous. So let's go and have a look. Right, that is going to be a separate episode. We think we're going to do a complete series. We think we pan back the series on what we're going to do with this, because I want this tiling now. This is all going to come up and we might have to redo the floor just to make sure it's all flat, and then chipboard flooring, and then yeah, so we'll leave that. Yeah, boarded, so we can make good all the bonding now around there, which is good. Yes, there we go then, plenty to go at. Let's go and say hello to Matthew and Michael. Right, who's already been hard at it already, getting this on the wall. Doors are in, looking really good. Windows are in, looking really good.
Okay. See you then.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Morning, Richard.
Good morning, Matthew.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Nice break.
Yes, lovely.
Excellent.
Here he is. So he's already prepped. You prepped last week, Matt? You prepped last week, didn't you?
Last week.
Got the rakes in, yeah. So last week he come and he got the beads on, got his scrim tape on, and he's done his ceiling rakes with the bonding, so we can hit it today. So he's telling us you'll be downstairs Friday. You'll be done up here Friday.
I want to be downstairs Friday.
Okay, so 3 days then. Excellent. Don't mess about, does our Matthew? We don't know what our plan is yet, do we, Michael? So we're going to have a look. We're going to get a plan together. I'm going to put the kettle on, make a brew, and then we'll go from there, and we'll show you what we might or might not be doing. Right then, I'm going to pop up actually and speak to Matthew periodically, just to see what we're going to do, and I may even get him to talk us through a couple of things. Matthew, what do you think? Just a couple of things that he likes to do to make it easy for himself. A couple of tips from our Matthew.
Go on.
I may talk him into it.
I can bore anybody.
Well, there you go then. You've heard it from the horse's mouth there. He's going to bore us to death about plastering. Right then, let's carry on. Next part of the job, we are thinking about wastes. Plumbers have already put the hot and colds and heating pipes into here. So now what we're going to do is think where you're going to run the waste in. Now we know we've got to go out that external wall there and come down the outside, because that's where the soil pipe is, because we haven't talked about it much yet, because this is all the extension which we're doing after the loft conversion. However, we've got to move all the drain outside, which I'm not going to show you. You'll see it in that episode when we start to do it. But we've got to think where the waste is going to end up. Now, we know that we've got a shower going, and if you can see, let me just try and zoom in there. If you can see that hole there, look, in centre shot, that there now is where we are going to be centre of our shower waste. So you've always got to think where you're going to start from, but you also need to think about where you're going to end up. So first of all, we need to make sure 100% that we're not going to hit a joist with our centre of our waste, because on shower trays, and I'll put a shot in a picture now in the video where what the shower tray looks like upstairs. You have to excuse Matthew scraping upstairs. So we've made sure we get the centre, so we know now 100% off the wall. We've got a centre, 600 this way, 400 this way. That's where the centre is. I've just shown you. So then you got to think, which we've got the waste out, the shower track waste, and it is a slim line, which is great. So we need to make sure. I'm trying to talk and I'm a bit too far away. So right, so all we're saying now is we know where the shower. I've showed you where the shower waste is going to come, which is here, where my fingers. That's the hole I've just showed on the screen. But you've got to be mindful when you put your waste in. You need to be lower than your waste outlet, which we know. I've just said is 40 mil to the centre below here. So I now know, because this is 770 mil, it's 170 mil, that's right, isn't it? 170 mil joist, because it's a 72. That if I go in the centre there now with a 50 mil, because you should always, where possible, go in the centre of any floor joist, because of ruining the strength or what's the right word, Mick? Tell me to get my words out. You're going to compromise, you're going to compromise the strength of the joist if you start doing notches out the top. Plumbers do it all the time, electricians do it all the time. Not so much now, but years ago you used to take floorboards up and there'd just be notches out the floor, and you can't do it because it takes the strength out the joist. I've already explained it in previous episodes about doing that. So we're going to do you always try to come 300 million if you can from any end. And then, I thought there was a knock on the door there. And then we're going to do a 50mm there, 50mm there, 50mm out there, and then we're going to put a drill bit in, which we've got a metre long drill bit, to try and core drill to outside.
Show that one. There it is.
So there's our metre long drill bit there. So, again, you've got to plan ahead, but also know where you're starting from and ending up. Right, so we're going to come through here and then come through and out that wall, likewise again, to get into the quarter waist through that way. It'd be nice if we could have come through here and then joined them on with a T, but we can't because we've got this. And we have only got 20mm, so we're a bit stuck. So that's what we're going to do now. Yeah, so like I say, you've always got to plan ahead and know what you're doing. So we've got our holes through there now. Mick's been outside and pilot holed. We pull a part hole through, using a 300mm, a 600mm and a metre long 12mm to outside, so Mick's then drill back through. Just a quick one I want to point out, we have actually changed that, or I changed my mind regarding this. I didn't want to put it here, it's too tight, too close. So we're coming left now and then through there, and then through there, which is on a little board catcher, and then through the wall. But just so you can, a bit of a I don't know, it's not even a tip or trick, it's just what we do. I always say on the channel, this isn't the be all and end all, this is just what we do. So to make it easier, to make sure that when you put your 50mm core drill through, you're in the centre of this one, because you've got to come in line with that one. All we tend to do is we started a hole off there with a hole saw, then I'll get my SDS then and run that into the hole that was formed, so I know it's centre, formed by the hole saw, and I use that as a pilot then to make sure I'm centre, because I'm not going to use this one, I have to use a smaller one, but 150 first, and then use this one after once I'm halfway through. But you can level your drill bit up then, up like that, put your drill on, make sure your drill's level and drill through, and then all we did then was we drilled a smaller one so far like that till we got to there, and then once we couldn't reach any more, I actually got my angle drill, my little Milwaukee angle drill down there, which hasn't got hammer, but because these are quite newish bits, it actually pushed through quite nice, so I pushed it through to the point where we were about there, and then I could get my SDS back on and the metre long could go on then, and then we went all the way through. All set up now then, all the holes all the way through, been down on the list. I've already showed you I think already, so we've done all that, that's set up, core drills are all out ready to go. So we've just, I've just fixed a bit of a faux pas that I made, and I'd set the stud work too far out, so when you come to this wall we wouldn't have been able to put it in flat. So what we'll do is you put that on, we've got quite a 3-inch architrave, so we'll do that, we'll scrim that timber in there, unibond it, skim that in, that'll be behind the architrave, and at least we can now bond that in as one now, as you can see. That's all going to sit, can you see it? Just about. That's all going to sit now and sit flush, that's better. These frames, pain in the backside if I'm honest, because they're not set to like the old fashioned 4 1/4, 5 1/4 that you used to buy, because timber's different sizes, so these are a lot wider. So all we'll do with that is we'll bond it in, and then I'll just cut a strip on the saw and put it down the back of the architrave so there's no horrible gap looking from this way. That's what we'll do. So I've done that. We've been outside, as you know, we put the rubber on, and if we're going to have a look now and see where we are upstairs. This is where we are. I'll just come back a little bit so we can see. So, love pink on the walls, man. Love pink on the walls. It's looking good, and with the warmth and the open windows, that'll probably be not far off dry in the morning. Right then, good morning. Just say good morning, Michael.
Morning, Michael.
Right, we've started. Michael just got the compo and bits of brick out of there where we took the wall then, if you remember from earlier episodes where the wall was above the stairs, and we are just pulling in bits now ready for get ready for Matt. Bonding. We've just been around and just checked all the screws. There are no screws sticking out because Matt doesn't like it. Matt's already put his first set on. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, brother.
Matt's already put his first set on. We've left him to it really this morning, even though we did a little bit of a shorter, which you'll see after this video. Just a bit of a Mickey type short, really. So yeah, he's got his first set on. He's going to get the whole ceiling on in one go, which is quite a task in itself because it comes all the way up there. I'll just pan back a bit, all the way through, all the way through there, all the way through there, and all the way down to there. So it's quite a task in itself. So you can see why we've left him alone. So main thing for us, that I've already said, is just getting ready for Matt downstairs because he'll have upstairs done by end of play Thursday, maybe breakfast time Friday, and he wants to come downstairs. So what we're going to do now is, you've already seen we've got all the waste and things in, so when that gets delivered we can get that fitted. So me and Mick now are going to go around, as I've already said, check everything, start prepping everything and start bonding and getting all the holes filled ready for him. So that's our plan today, so we'll get on with it. I've just come down off the roof to get my standing knife, just do a bit of tweaking, and we're going to see how Matt's getting on. Oh, look at that then. Oh yeah. Anyone else get a bit turned on with pink on the walls when it's looking like it's finished? Or is it just me? I don't suppose it turns Matt on much, he does it all the time, so. Look at that.
Still nice to see.
Look at that. Look how good that looks. Beautiful. Beautiful rollers, oh, look at that. The camera doesn't do it justice. Look at that. Beautiful. Right then, back up onto the roof. We're just going to fit the ridge system now, the dry ridge system. We've got a bit of tweaking to do because we've got to offset our ridges slightly. So let's go and have a look at that. End of the day for us now then. So that ridge is all in, and well, I mean, we think it looks tidy, other than a bit of lead work. We've put those last 3 tiles on that we mentioned we hadn't done yet, so they're done. So these ones here, they're in now, ready to have the lead dressed. We're really happy with that. Good morning. Oh, that's a bit close. Good morning. Right, here we are again at the loft. Just taking Matty's coffee. Both early this morning. We got a delivery, and Matt likes to get 3 sets and likes to go in early. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, Rich.
There's your coffee, mate.
Oh, cheers, brother. Thank you very much.
So, how do you feel after your first appearance on the channel?
Well, I don't think John Malkovich or Danny DeVito are going to have any worries anytime soon.
So, if at this point you haven't seen it, because I don't know when we're going to put it on yet, what we did was we did a hints and tips, which I think I've sort of alluded to in this video. Hints and tips on plastering, so that's to come if it hasn't already been on already. But yeah, look forward to that because it was good. There was a few good tips on there, and I think Matt enjoyed himself despite him not thinking he'd got himself across very well, but he did, and I've edited it already, so it's good. So, see, this is all drying nicely now. All looking really good. So, how far off are we today, Matt? Today's Thursday, but it's sandwich Thursday, so we'll have to stop for at least half an hour to get the sandwich to go down. So, what are we thinking, Matt?
All this will be done. Get the 2 opposites on. Then I'll follow on with the main window wall and the short stack, and then we'll finish off with a reveal set last thing before we head off, and then.
So you want to go try and do that ceiling bond and do that ceiling tomorrow? Sorry.
I wouldn't mind having a look at it today. Really, try and get some bonding into the rake.
Yeah.
Set the beads, and then that.
We'll have to put that thing down there, that platform down there again. Then so.
It would give us a first set in here.
Okay.
Obviously, we can't touch this, so I can really only get the up and over and this here.
Yeah.
For a set, but. It's all about planning to get the rooms done, isn't it?
Yeah, I think our idea behind leaving that was so you can, if we need any kind of platform screwed to the walls, we can do that for you to get up high. But so we can have a look at, mate. We can get that sorted. That's not a problem. So. Yes. Right then, I'm gonna leave Matt to it because he wants to carry on. Right. So I've just come off the roof. We've got to a point where we're going to put the gutter on now. you would have seen it in a separate video because I'm doing a flat roof video, as you would have already seen me written on the screen in this video. So now we're going to have a look and see how Matt's got on.
Yeah.
Hey, how are we getting on? Come on to see how we're getting on because we're on the roof. We all done then, Matt?
All done.
Excellent. Look at it all. It's got the polish reveals off, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, it's it. Try it all.
Look at that then. Look at that. Pink on the walls, man. Pink on the walls. Here we are then. The whole space has now been formed. That's it. Wonderful that is. Wonderful. Right, I believe Matt's going to go downstairs now and do some bonding. So if I just go downstairs, and Matt's next room is this one. I started bonding yesterday. Did this, and I run out about last bit in the day yesterday. So he's going to do that. Give a bit of a scrape. I've already emptied it. So I'm just going to move this last bit on the windowsill. Matt's just going to pull out that bit of frame that we're not happy with. You can just about see it on there, I think, where there's a bit of a belly in the wall just there on the frame. So he's going to pull that with some bonding as well. Then he'll tape all this, and then he'll get this ceiling done, and at least that wall tomorrow, at least, against he comes downstairs. And I am going to go and start putting the waste pipes in the ceiling. Turn my lights up because it's dark in there, in this room. There we are. So I'll just start putting the waste in here. So tomorrow we'll all be in here and we'll be fixing all this. So we'll be insulating and boarding and then getting all this room prepped for Matt to come into. Makes most sense because it's got the least amount of stuff in it. So we can give him this room as well. So there we are. And then once that room's done, bottom of the stairs in here, we'll move everything from here into there while Matt is doing the back bedroom, and then we'll be on to the bathroom then, which we've already said is going to be a completely different series. We won't really reference it at all from now, because there's quite a bit of work to do in there. Windows to be blocked up, and is it just the windows to be blocked up in there? It is, isn't it? Partly, sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying we're not going to talk about that, are we, in terms of going to depth? Because you can do a complete bathroom refit, aren't we?
Basically, I've dropped the ball on this one, to be honest, because I so much going on and keeping everything moving. I sort of took me off the fact that this is an integral room to get ready for him to be able to move back in, and there's a lot of work to do in here. So, in fact, there's so much work to do in here. I don't think that, as we're doing the rest of the house, doing bits here and bits there is going to work. So we're sort of going to forget it for a bit, do the other bits until they're done, and then concentrate solely on this.
To keep in front of Matt, can't we? So we can get 3 rooms done, then we can all dive in here. I've already pointed out that we're getting this floor up, aren't we? You said now we're going to redo it and reach it board it all.
Yeah, get all this up, brand new floor, 'cause I want it tiled, so you can't tile over this. So not
without having to overboard. You've already pointed out. Yeah, it's going to be too thick, isn't it? Against you plywood it and then use the backer board and then the mesh or whatever we're going to use. Be too much. So
get this up, new floor.
So that's the plan.
Blah, blah, blah.
Excellent. Right, so you go and finish the gutter then, Ad, and then we're going to. Matt's going to jump in there, I just said, and we're going to do in there, aren't we? Me, well, I say we, me and my camera. They're going to do in there.
They're with you every step of the way, aren't they?
They're all with me now, yeah, they're with me because no one else cares. Okay, anyway, I managed to get my waste pipe in there. That's all looking nice and tidy. So what I managed to do in the end was, I managed to push it through that hole there, bend a full length in, bend it back up again, force it through that hole and push it through. Apologies to plumbers out there that are watching, but it's important to us non-plumbers to do it this way, and you probably do it the same. Now, because I've got a bit of a mix and mash in here now, that's where that one's going. I've got to put this one in there, that one onto there. All I've done is I've glued them, but I've marked it all dry, and then I've put lines on, if you can see it there, lines on all my pipes, so I know that when it was in dry, it was all in the right place, and the pipe upstairs is all vertical. So when I put my glue on and force it all back in, put my lines back on, and I know it's back exactly where it was, and it was right, because once the glue goes off, that's it, you got to cut it out. So that's all I'm having to do, and then this one, once I've done this joint, that's good, and that one is straightforward. That is simply go outside, 1.5 inch pipe, through to there, put a bend on, and then leave it there with a bit of stubber pipe. That one's easy. So I'll do that one next. And then we can, once the lads has done outside with the gutter, which I'll go and have a look at in a minute, how we're getting on, we can start insulating and boarding this ceiling to keep in front of Matt. Just finished putting the tray in. I've never seen Adam so happy because he had his trowel out. We've had to step out the way and let him have his moment with his trowel because I know he's missing it.
Still works.
Still works, yeah. It's to come. We're not that far away now, Adam. You'll be on it. On it like a tramp on chips. All out. You'll be on it every day, and we'll be the ones looking, watch what's going on. So yeah, we had a bit of a hump, but we have ascertained that it's actually the tray that's got the hump in it. A little bit in there, so we've had to pick that corner up a touch to get it level. But there's a good 10mm bed under there of compo, and it's all been siliconed in. We have had to cut that corner to get it in a little bit more to close that gap and that gap up, but I take full responsibility for that because that was my fault. That should have gone in a bit squarer to this one, but there we go. I'll take that. So we've chopped that in there a touch just to get it square to make sure, like I say, to make sure these touch. So when the shower so when the tiles go on, he'll just have to pull this out a little bit to get it square. And yeah, same in there. Just pull the tiles out to this a little bit more. At least when the shower screen goes on, we haven't got a horrible gaps that normally get filled full of silicone, which I'd never like to see, filling the front with silicone. We could have left it and there was a 5mm gap there and 5mm gap there, but nah, looks rubbish. So other than a little bit of plumbing downstairs and then test with water, we're all good to go. We can board that in and keep in front of Matt. So that's what we'll do next. Bit of a catch up. Matt's just trailing off. Come back a little bit. Everything all right? Yeah. Oh, hang on. This could be the big one. This could be the big one.
We'll have to wait.
And we have insulated with a lot of coughing and snot in there. We have just put a tray in there so we can pull that waste now and straight into there. Bit of we've got a couple of 45s just to bring ourselves back to that point. We can do that, insulate that. Good couple of buckets of water down this there before we cover it in, and then we're happy with that. So we are finished for the day and for the week. Matt has got his set on in here. So he's done the ceiling, he's done that wall, and he's done the reveals of the window. And then in the meantime, we have... Hello! And then we have boarded all of this. And as you know, I've put the waste in. It's all been insulated, put the waste in there. It's been tested with a good couple of buckets of water and then left. No signs of any leaks, so we've boarded it all. Matt has then got himself prepped, rigged himself up ready to go for Monday. Bonded all around the walls. So again, so other than uni-bonding, setting his beads and taping, this room is ready to go for him. We shall say goodbye to you now.
Goodbye to you now.
Have a nice weekend, or have a nice evening whenever you're watching this video, and try a bit.